Hello, don't mind me. I just gotta do a little fidgeting with the light. I think it's good here, but it's kind of dark here. It's bothering me. I think if I move my ring light. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a bit of an intro, but I know some people are like, just tell me the dang story, Leslie. So if you're one of those people who just want the dang story and don't care about me, here's a time code. Just go to that. So I'll launch right into the story. As you can see, these are stories that will make you mad because they're about people that you meet in college. Like really, like those are where the terrible people are at. So here's my little intro. I'm just trying to recap. As you can see, I have a lot of clutter behind me, and that is because I am having my birthday party tomorrow. My birthday is in August. Don't worry, there's still time to get me a gift. I've updated my Amazon wish list and linked it down below. No shame. But my mom's having some vacation time, and whenever I throw my annual birthday party, my mom does not want to be a part of it. So I figured while she's gone, now's the perfect time. So I did film the process of getting this all together. Still ongoing because it hasn't started yet. But that is going to be 2 vlogs up on my life channel, which is my second channel. Sorry, I needed to swallow there. And then of course I do a big like birthday video on this main channel. So you guys are gonna see it. I just don't know when, because this one gets a little intense. It's not just a really little party this time. This is a milestone for me, and I gotta acknowledge it. But that's why you're seeing this clutter in the background. I still have pool floats that I gotta take care of. And I think my air pump was running out of batteries. I don't know, it just kind of seemed like it was chugging along. I don't wanna leave the house to get batteries. So I was just I've done so much shopping this past week. I thought that I was in the clear. So we'll have to see, but I'm gonna work on this in a little bit because I'm procrastinating that because I don't wanna deal with the bad news of it not working. Onto the video, stories that will make you mad. So in my last video, right here, there's the thumbnail in case you haven't seen it, I talked about 2 people, and one of them was Max. Max was from the first story, and he was actually a legit friend of mine. And when we started, the fallout started happening was with one argument. It was so dumb, but he talked about how he and his roomies didn't really trust me being alone in his dorm, even though these roomies were people who were in our actual friend group. This one that I'm about to talk to you about, I didn't really hang out one-on-one with him. It was really, I liked this girl, and then she dated him. So whenever we would go out, he'd be invited, or if there was just like a group thing or a group meal, of course he would come too. I didn't know him very well. Max would sometimes get mad at him, think that he was lazy and petty and not that great to his girlfriend. Just being honest, it's what he told me. But I didn't personally have a lot of one-on-one time with him, but he was fine. Like, he was always nice to me. Okay. In fact, I was so nice that I also got him a job in the marketing department at the wellness center where I worked. So with my recommendation, he got hired. And so that would be another time that I would see him is Friday mornings. We would all have to collectively get together and have a meeting with the heads of the wellness center and just update them and talk about events. One of the times I actually couldn't make the meeting, and I let the heads know that I had a doctor appointment at that time, so I just wouldn't be there. But I didn't really think to tell other people, especially him. Like, why would I tell him? And I wasn't there that he started talking to Max about how I was lazy, not doing my job, didn't even bother to show up, and how he was thinking of creating a pitch to explain to the heads why I should be kicked out. Granted, if I were to fail at my duties, it would not affect his work at all. Like, it wasn't some team effort we had. It did nothing to him. But legit, kick me off out of the wellness center, create a lot of tension on the campus because it was a smaller campus, and also I would lose money that would go towards paying for college. I would say that we had a fight or a falling out, but it really just wasn't worth it because all of this information was given to me by Max and I didn't want to cause conflict. Also, we were never best friends. He just kind of existed in the friend group. So I just decided I don't like him anymore, and then I would never really make a point to get to know him after that. And then we have the other roommate, and he was very odd, but I think what contributed to a lot of his oddness was that he was painfully insecure. Everything he would flip out about, and it was so hard because I have a bit of a stronger personality. I'm a little bit more blunt, definitely have a little feistiness. I'm not trying to compliment me. I wouldn't even notice so much of that about me, except for when I was standing next to him, butting heads. He flipped out over everything, embarrassed over everything. Like, he was the kind of guy who was so odd, and it's not even, I'll just be real, he wasn't even that cute, and he wasn't even that nice, that he could not get a girl on campus. So what he would do is he would go on Tinder, and then he would look for overweight girls, because a lot of times they're struggling with the dating life and their issues, which is sad, but this is today's world. And he would take advantage of them, not even bother to date them. I think he was just leading them on so he could hook up with them and then keep that all a secret. But of course, I found that out. Everybody tells me everything. This is probably why drama would always follow me around, because people would unload their secrets on me. So I knew all about that. And I never added to the problem. It was just something I'm telling you guys to help define his character. So then I later on found out that he wasn't doing too well in his fraternity. And of course I felt bad. I even tried to make him sound better. Like, I would try my best or give him a little more attention, because I felt like people were picking on him because he was weird. But then we just kept fighting and fighting over the dumbest things. And like, this is something that kind of also explains his character. I remember when he had sex for the first time, and he was telling me about it later in his room, and he was giving me like this chronological order timeline, and I'm trying to be supportive, so I'm like listening. I'm like, oh, and then what, and then what? Not saying he was going into really graphic detail, but you know, I'm trying to make him feel good, because I'm assuming this is a very special time for him. And then finally I'm like, and then what? And then he says, then I left her in the room and I walked here. I was like, why? Then he was always like, she's a smoker, she's this, she's dirty, which I was thinking, this doesn't make me want to support you at all, because you're so down to hook up with her, but then you're going to insult her later. So again, that really caused resentment, and it probably increased us butting heads even more. Then we're getting to the final straw here, because Max confided in me, and granted, this could be all a lie, but I think it was true, told me that he blames me for why he's not popular within his fraternity. And I was so confused by that, because I feel like if anything, I probably enhanced it, because when he's in the corner not talking to anybody, I'm dragging him around, introducing him to people. So I was like, that's just crazy. I was kind of hurt by that, to be honest. And I ended up getting in a room with some of his frat brothers. They were throwing something in their dorm room. And of course, he wasn't invited, but I was invited. So I was talking to his frat brothers. And when some of them kind of like weeded out, and I got one-on-one with one of them that was my friend, I kind of asked him about that, about how, if like, do you think I'm hurting his reputation or something? I was so confused. And then this frat guy of his goes, no, Lesley, he always brags about how much he hangs out with you. He makes it sound like you guys are hooking up and or dating. And really, none of the brothers like him, because he's homophobic and he shows a clear problem with their gay frat brother. I was livid that he was blaming all of his social problems on me. After doing countless favors for both of those guys, I was so over them. But at the same time, I always stayed nice to him, and so that's still what really annoyed me about Max when he said that they had a problem with me, when I had every right to have a problem with them. This one is a story about a girl in college. I felt like it was necessary to include it because I feel like I've been really getting on guys lately, and I put a disclaimer in the last video. This is not me hating men, because I have a lot of great guy friends, and I've just in general have contact with a lot of great guys. This is just me sharing my stories, and they just happen to be guys. I mean, a lot of it is, but I'll do a video on girls later. I'm gonna call this girl Macy because that's all that I can think of, but I have never met a girl who was such a pathological liar, but also so delusional about how hot she was. Now, I'm not someone that I like to just insult girls for this and that, because I just think that's so mean. But I can just clearly tell you, she wasn't a 10 out of 10. I have eyes. She wasn't even a 9 out of 10. Like, one thing, okay, this is a little off topic, but I remember she didn't have a driver's license. I do, but she didn't. I don't know, people have their own stories. And I was debating bringing my car to campus, and she was talking about wanting to drive my car. And I was like, I don't understand why I would do that because you don't have a license. And then she was saying, well, if we got pulled over, you know, we'll real quick switch seats. And to me, I'm thinking that doesn't look good because you can still see into my car us switching seats. Like, there's gonna be these big, huge blinders on my car. Like, the spotlights are gonna show it from the police vehicle. And then also, so that means that she's going to drive and break the law, and then I'm the one who gets caught and paid the ticket. I don't know, it was just like crazy talk. I was just thinking, okay. Okay, so that was just a side story. But the main story is we would spend a lot of our hangouts exercising. She was really into that, and it was so hard for me to find a friend into that. So I was like, okay, like, I'll work out with you. And then we would end with doing laps around the track. And she would tell me about, like, this girl's crush likes me and this girl's crush likes me. And I just remember at the point of, like, after all these hangouts, like 20 guys were throwing themselves at her, and I was just so confused by that. I thought it was really weird, but I kind of had a similar situation happen with a girl that I made friends with freshman year, so I was like, maybe she just releases some hormone, I don't know. So, and the girls and guys she was talking about, for the most part, I didn't know. She would always talk about this guy who was like her primary guy that loved her, and he ended up being my RA, and then he shared with me about how she'll show up at 2 a.m. at his dorm, and it's really awkward because he was a player, and then this other girl would have to come face and face with her, and he was like, stop showing up at my door. I never really found out the full story on that. I didn't even bother to, because even though she was starting to say weird stuff, he was also a player, and players lie. So I was just like, I don't want to know. But then things got personal when I met a guy who liked me, and he was actually good friends with her lover at the time. And I remember he was saying, like, we should double date, you know, and of course I was so happy because I was getting over this other guy. I was like, yes, like, it feels nice to have a guy not want to hang out, but actually take me to the movies. So he reaches out to Macy, trying to make plans with how we'll do this double date. And then she turns around and tells me that he was trying to take her out and was interested in her. And I remember she was like, I'm so sorry, girl. I don't know how this happened. This just keeps happening to me. I think what she was expecting was for me to just be super sad and drop it and never talk to him again. But it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, this isn't true at all. So I ended up approaching the guy and asked him about it. And he seemed so confused. That's when everything finalized and connected the dots, that she has been preying on her friends' crushes, even if something happens, even if something doesn't happen, and then taking that story and sitting down their friends and making them feel like crap. I'll tell you what, that's really messed up. Like, that's girl code, are you kidding me? Terrible people doing terrible things. That wraps it up of the stories that will make you mad, filled with terrible people doing terrible things. People you meet in college are terrible people. So I'm going to go because I got to continue getting ready Thank you so much for watching. If you are new, I hope I made you fall in love with me. I gotta, because you've stayed this long into the video. So just hit subscribe, join the fam bam. And this is the point in time in the video where I shout bam, 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 bam at you. And I don't know if new people understand that. So I'm gonna back away this time and just tell you, I love you, I mean it, bye.